Hey, in this segment, we're going to talk about you getting sold. To the degree that you're sold, convinced, persuaded yourself, you will sell. This is a vital and critically unavoidable fact that cannot be missed if you are to become great at your trade. This fact also happens to be one of the most important tools you'll ever have as a salesperson and can be used to actually monitor the results of your career. The bottom line is if you're not selling, to some degree, you're not sold. I want to say that again. If you're not selling, if you saw your production drop, immediately understand, hey, I'm not sold on something. See, if your sales are slowing down, there's something happening. Oh, Grant, it's traffic. Oh, Grant, it's this. Oh, Grant, it's the economy. No, you got sold on something else and are now unsold on what it takes to get results. If you're not getting your way, you're not sold. If you've got any excuses about it, I promise you, you're just not completely sold. In order to become great, a master at selling, you have to sell yourself on what it is you're selling. Make this the single most important sale of your life and keep making that sale. It's not something you do one time. You got to keep reinforcing what product you're selling, the company you're selling, you. What is the service you offer? Look, you have to sell yourself completely 100% all the way. I know salespeople that understand the game of selling, but because they're not completely and absolutely sold on their product, their service, themselves, and their company, they suffer. You've got to convince yourself that your product, your company, your services, your ideas are superior to all others. You know, many of you believe that your product is superior. And while products tend to offer similar benefits to yours, there's always going to be some competition, right? You have to be sold not just on product, but the service, the company, and how you're going to support it. You have to be 100% certain on this idea, this fact that you're selling, what you're selling, the company that you represent is better than every other option. So we're going to do an exercise in this segment where you get clear on that, and you got to keep redoing that. This one point is so critical to your greatness that it cannot be negotiated with. You have to be utterly and completely convinced and believe that what you're selling so strongly that you become unreasonable. That's right, unreasonable, almost fanatical. Unreasonable means without reason or logic. See, you have to be so convinced about your position that you won't even consider the other logic people give you. You must never allow the consideration to enter your mind that anyone else could compete with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You want to literally get so sold on what you do, not just the product, but you, the company, the service, the follow-up, so sold that you will not reason with logic when somebody says, hey, I can get it down the street for $500 less money. Well, you know you're sold so deeply that, hey, you can make up the $500 in what? Service, the company, the support. See, that's not to say that others are not going to try to convince you. They are. They're going to try to sell you on something else. So you got to get sold. So sold that you won't allow the think of others. You might acknowledge it, but you're not going to allow it to penetrate or permeate your own belief system. Throughout most of my selling career, I've sold products that were more expensive than my direct competitors. And the truth is, I've gotten more money for very similar products for one reason. I believe so strongly in my level of service, my level of care, and that my products and service combined were superior that I could justify more money. Now look, whether or not my product is or my service is worth more money than somebody else's is not important to me. What's important is that I'm convinced that it is. If it's true for me, it's true. What's true for you is going to be true for you. And while I've sold many products that were priced higher than my competitor, I promise you, I've never asked anyone to pay a price I wasn't fully, completely, 100% sold on. And that's why I get the price. See, I decide on a price because I'm convinced it's worth that price, to the point that I would even pay that price. See, I'm sold. So what I want you to do now in this segment, I want you to get sold, okay? I want you to make a list of all the things you do that make you different and unique in your market. Different and unique than the competition, okay? I don't want you to be as good as them. I want you to be greater than them, better than them. So make a list of all the things that makes your product different, that makes you different, that makes your company different. And you're going to see where you're unique. Or maybe you're going to see, hey, I'm not so unique. And that's what we got to build on. You got to get sold on these points so deeply that they can't be challenged. Confidence is the key to selling. And to the degree that you are sold, you will sell. You want to go beyond selling now. You want to move into that area of complete believability. You know, a lie detector cannot tell the difference between the truth and a lie if the individual believes the lie to be true. So we got to get you sold. I don't want you telling lies. I want you sold, so convinced. So make the list. How are you unique, more different, provide more service than your competitor.